George Monbiot is one of the world's most influential, original, and courageous environmental journalists. A regular columnist with the British newspaper The Guardian, and a regular presenter of documentaries on the BBC, he's the author of 7 books. He's reported from social and environmental hotspots all over the world, confronting Indonesian soldiers and Amazonian poachers. He's helped to establish a movement that aims to arrest former British Prime Minister Tony Blair for crimes against peace. He's won the United Nations Global 500 Award for outstanding environmental achievement.
I'm driven by a strong sense of injustice, a strong sense that time is running out, that we live on a wonderful, precious, unique and beautiful planet, full of wonders of all kinds, and we are trashing it without hardly any cognizance of the damage that we're doing. And I just can't stand by and watch that process take place without doing everything I can to try to stop it.
But of course, traditionally, as a journalist, you're supposed to be objective, right? You're not supposed to be taking sides, but you do this routinely. I mean, you study something, you arrive at conclusions, you're not shy about expressing them.
I think you can draw a distinction between objectivity and impartiality. I'm not impartial, I'm partial. I'm very partial to protecting the environment, I'm very partial to human rights, I'm very partial to social justice. But in trying to determine what needs to be done and in trying to analyse where the problems are coming from, I try to be as objective as possible. I try to sift the facts, to go to the source of the information all the time, to look for countervailing sources of information, to try to work out who's speaking rubbish, who's providing straight facts, and to try to work out whether I'm on the right side of the issue or not, and if I'm on the wrong side of the issue, to switch over.
The response to heat, it seems to me it's caused a lot of talk and a lot of concern, and I think you're right. I think you did show that it's possible, maybe not to 90%, but you could make a huge reduction in greenhouse gases. But nothing happened, right?
Yeah.
And if anything, we went backward.
You know, nothing happened is a pretty fair summary of the past 20 years of policy on environment, not just on climate change, but right across the environmental spectrum. Nothing happened. And this was all consolidated at the 2012 Earth Summit in Rio, where absolutely nothing happened. They produced a document which was supposed to be their plan, their way forward of the governments of the world, what they were going to do about all the environmental crises we were facing, and there was nothing in it whatsoever. There wasn't a single firm target, there wasn't a single mandatory goal. They committed to absolutely zero. And they've given up on it. They simply, the governments of the world at the moment are entirely incapable of rising to this challenge. There are only three useful things you can do: mobilise, mobilise and mobilise. Number one, you can't do anything by yourself. It's completely useless. You know, you think you've got consumer power, you can buy a better brand of biscuits, that's going to save the planet. It does not work. It does not work. Consumer power can be a tool in the toolbox, but only in the context of political change. Because otherwise, you know, all you are doing is creating more space for other people to move into. So you say, right, I'm not going to drive a car, I'm going to ride a bike, which is a very good thing to do. You know, I'm not in any way arguing against that. You know, you should be switching from your car to your bicycle. That's a very positive thing to do. But unless it takes place in the context of political change, unless the government is simultaneously switching road space away from cars and towards bicycles, all you do is free up some more road space for someone else to drive a more polluting car than you would have driven. We also find that if people have got enough bread and enough circuses, you know, they're very reluctant to mobilise, and the circuses are particularly good at the moment. You know, we've got wall-to-wall 24-hour entertainment of every single kind you could wish for. We have incredible sports coverage, we have wonderful movies, we have fantastic animation, we have the internet and all the wonders of the internet. You can find anything you want to watch on YouTube. You've got everything there in front of you, and that is literally mind-numbing. It numbs you, it makes you more sedentary, it makes you less inclined to get out into the real world, to mobilize, to walk the streets. And that very, very effective and brilliant entertainment system we have, unwittingly in most cases, becomes a means of demobilizing us.
What, in a sense, we've been talking about all the way through here is a very frightening situation that requires a lot of courage from a lot of people. And I think courage is something that can be built by examples, but also by the kind of understanding that we've just been describing.
Yeah. The one thing I fear is other people's cowardice. You can deal with your own cowardice. You can confront it and address your own cowardice. You can't confront and address other people's cowardice. They run away from your attempts to do so, and you know that's what will sink us. Will be cowardice. You know, is people just not prepared to take on the powers, not prepared to challenge money and power, and to fight for a better world.
For the Green Interview, I'm Silver Donald Cameron. Thanks for watching.